There are times when you cannot believe what the Walt Disney Company has just done. Like when they had that moment where they decided from henceforth, no gendered language in the theme parks. Everybody will be called friend or dreamers of all ages, and that won't sound like a cult at all. But now Disney has done something we did not even foresee. Disney said the quiet part out loud. Disney put the stuff we've been accusing of them in new documents they released as a clapback to Nelson Peltz and Jay Rasulo. Folks, the truth is out there, and Disney dished it out. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Pro Channel. It is a joy to have you here as always. We are here to explain entertainment, keep you ahead of the culture curve, calling balls and strikes in a way that you will not find very often. Shills and pixie dusters, we are not. But we're also not haters. We believe in perhaps uplifting companies to do better by explaining to them how they can find the money once more. Today we are talking all about the white papers that Disney released. Not the white papers from Nelson Peltz and Jay Rasulo, but the white papers from Disney. And Disney decided to rushedly put out an answer to Jay Rasulo and Nelson Peltz in the Proxy battle, but perhaps they told a little bit too much, because our intrepid investigators here discovered something when it comes to many avenues of Disney's money and where it's going, and in particular, how that stacks up with what Disney has said in their press releases and their pixie-dusted statements in the past.
I just read this thing. I am so freaking livid. I just got off a Zoom call and I'm like, okay, I better look at this thing before I come on the live stream. This is the biggest pack of lying sack of crap. Did you see the chart where they have a chart showing what their losses have been with Disney Plus? Like it's a good thing. Hey, look at how much money we're not losing. Did you guys pull that on the screen?
I'll find it real quick. Yeah.
We're
Jonas,
losing.
go find. For the listeners that are watching this pro show live and on the replay, holy moly. Holy moly.
It's the one with the
Why
mouse.
does this thing read more like a religious document? Why does it read like a cult document where it's personal attacks? And Mike, did you see the part where it talks about why they should not be on the board because they don't believe in Disney?
Right. No, they don't believe in the woke. Yeah, you know what? They don't believe in the woke politics of this garbage company that runs that buys IPs that we love, puts them on a chart. You know what, Bob Iger, Bob Iger did? Bob Iger's like my Puerto Rican ex-girlfriend that used to go to the mall with my Amex card and buy Fendi and Coach bags. Come back, put them in the closet and never wear them. That's what he did with Fox. That's what he did with Lucasfilm. And he buys crap and then he doesn't do nothing right with it.
All right.
I'm hot.
Okay, so let me ask you guys about that then. You bring up a great point, Mike, about Bob Iger being very happy to buy up IPs, not use them. He's also willing to take IPs that are highly successful and destroy them if it means getting him a quick win. And so one of those, for example, is Moana 2. Now, listen, this is a panel of men, right? None of us, I think, are just titillated by the idea of going to the cinema to see Moana 2. But at the same time, gentlemen, this is the most popular princess franchise that Disney has. It normally takes 3 to 5 years to make a feature-length animated film. Bob Iger in the last earnings call, he needed the Disney stock price to go up fast to try to fend off Nelson Peltz and Jay Rasulo. So he announces Moana 2 is coming, right? Moana 2 is coming this November. It's a huge shock to everybody because how could this have happened? How could there be an animated feature-length film that's been worked on this long and nobody knew? Turns out it wasn't. They've just started on it. He's going to take their most popular, their most valuable princess brand and make a movie out of it in 6 months, okay? Like a fifth, a tenth, a 20th of the time that it would normally take. And whether it's good or not doesn't matter. It pumped the stock. And that's all that matters is pumping the stock. Mike, you're exactly right when it comes to this man's disregard for the IP. And at the same time, we have escaped the bounds of this just being about the park junkies. We call them the pixie dusters, the folks who nothing Disney does is wrong. This has now escaped those bounds. It's not just park goers. Now, that kind of language of pixie dusting and believing in Disney and dreamers of all ages, this is now the language they use for their shareholders, their stockholders. And it's like, wait a minute, no, this is getting weird.
That's a good a
You're
time
supposed
as
to
any.
return my investment.
This is as good a time as any to point out that this chart here, which is denoted with little Mickey Mouse symbols, to point out
Yes.
if you were trying to demonstrate how profitable something is or how much you were reducing the costs attached to something, would you use an upside down graph that eventually approaches zero as it gets higher and higher?
Well, it
and
doesn't tell you that line is zero.
Right. It doesn't tell you that the line is zero. It has little mouse ears on it, and it goes up as it gets closer to zero, as opposed to reducing losses. This is strictly visualization.
Oh my gosh. I hate manipulated charts, and I hate charts that are not zeroed.
Agreed.
Which is why I don't like the stock market little clips and things like that, where they show these massive changes. But this is absolutely disingenuous bullshit.
Paul, and not a lot of people know this because they know you from your commentary and your TV exec career, but you and I know each other in the personal world, and I know that you've been a successful entrepreneur and have run and been a part of multiple businesses, either running your own or running others. As the CEO of a company, would you ever let something like this go out to like investors for a board meeting, and why not?
No, because they know it's bullshit. The people on the board are financially literate, and they know how to read a chart. So they're going to laugh at this. This is actually embarrassing from a brand perspective. You're shooting yourself in the foot. This is childish.
So then why did they do it? That's what I'm trying to get at, Paul. This doesn't read like a normal financial paper, normal financial white paper, and it confirms the things that we've been reporting while using verbiage of magical and happiness and all of that. Why did they do this?
Oh, I can tell you, because they're lying. Because I'm a technology person, I've also been following the battle between Intel and AMD, which none of you guys here probably care or know about. But Intel got sideswiped, and I won't get into it too deep because it's going to lose all your all your watchers. But AMD came out with a superior technology that Intel could not match, and the tech people in the underground were able to grab Intel's slide decks that they were using internally to try to propagandize how bad AMD's product was. And it was so laughably bad that the people in the marketplace, it embarrassed Intel to be. So my point is, Intel, a technology leader, shot themselves in the foot by lying.
Right.
It doesn't help. This is not a good strategy because you're just going to get laughed at. So I don't know why Disney is
by people who are competent. Disney then must be aiming this at incompetent people, at least incompetent in the area of understanding financial and corporate documents.
No,
that's all I can figure.
Paul, I have to ask this. Paul, did you happen to see our video covering ValueX white paper?
No.
Oh, I'll have to send it to you. It is 19 pages of pure drivel. It is a crayon drawing in business form. And 5 of those 19 slides are cover slides that are the title of the section.
I have seen this many times in my life. When I was working for Daimler, I was in Germany when IBM produced a slide deck that was so laughably horrible that I started laughing, and it made the Germans in the room uncomfortable.
This is, again, one of those 19 pages. This is, they're using time talking about all the different qualifications that you should have if you are on a board. Here's a list of companies. This is the second list of companies that they have in this slide deck. Here's another title slide. Here is
I like an entire title slide of just green block. That's always a good sign. It's a dense paper, baby.
This thing is complete drivel. This is also, they're saying, hey, this is a growth sector. Look how big the business itself is. This is the only real charts on the entire thing here. They don't label whether or not this is Disney or whether or not this is the entire theme park industry. This is something that if I was in business school and I submitted this, they would fail me because
the axes aren't even labeled.
Yes, and I'll point out, when Disney does their white paper, they're talking about all of the support that they're getting from these people. and how they agree with us. And therefore, we want to say that we work with our investors because these people who can't even put together a presentation to point out why they work with us.
So is this directed at MSNBC?
It must be. The existence of the Value Act white paper, I think, is just so they can say that Value Act has a white paper. They're hoping that you won't look at it, and then Disney can Value Act,
right. Yep.
Right. So then they can go here and say, oh, see, look at all these times we engage with our shareholders. These are also people that are engaging by saying, you keep doing what you're doing. By the way, why don't you do what we had them do at Microsoft? Why don't you do what we had them do at Adobe and do some kind of bundling and charge people on a regular basis?
It's too bad they're not using the Ashley Madison logo.
They might be in that tech, but Adobe, of course, the bane of many creatives' existence right now, because they offer a product that is the industry standard. The same thing with Microsoft Office here. They bundle it and then they charge you money every single month to use it, whether or not you use it.
So, Jonas,
the point that I'm trying to say here is that the fact that these two companies are working together, and by the way, Blackwell's is now coming out against Value Act as well. So this is
that's what amazing. I wanted to show real quick, Jonas. Let me show this briefly. This Culture sent this to me in the back channels here. Culture, thank you so much for doing so. This broke yesterday, March 11th, 2024. Let's read the title here, but that's all we needed, and we'll just go into the discussion of it. Blackwell's Capital reveals failure by the Disney board to disclose in this proxy fight, the one we're talking about, that Value Act, remember they work so well with Value Act, wonder why, that Value Act has earned fees for managing Disney pension funds since 2013. Urges shareholders to disregard Value Act's endorsement of the board. Questions whether the board violated ERISA, ERISA laws, as well as Disney's own code of ethics. You know, I'm shocked that Blackwell's is actually doing something productive, but there it is. Blackwell's actually did something good. Yes, Disney has been in bed with Value Act. Value Act is there as a buffer to stop the Trian efforts. That's the whole deal. And they should be held accountable for this nonsense.
Agreed. And the thing I was going to throw in here is that what they are probably going to do is that Disney Prime software or subscription that we were all hearing about, that Bob Chapek was so evil for trying to come up with Disney Prime. This is the kind of thing that Value Act is. That's their bread and butter. Hey guys, what if you took the things that everybody wants to buy and instead of giving it to them, you made them rent it on a frequent basis as a subscription?
We haven't heard anything on Disney Prime in about 6 months. It's going to be interesting to see if more stuff comes out after we get through this vote.
Agreed. And it's going to be something where you have to get Disney Plus and Hulu and everything all together as one thing. It's not going to be creative, and they're going to lock something behind a paywall that doesn't need to be behind a paywall. I'm very cynical about this particular collaboration because, one, it gets them brownie points that they don't deserve with the headline readers, and two, it's probably going to cost a lot of money as Disney tries to move even further into that we are a millennial or dual income, no kids lifestyle brand more than a family entertainment company.
And folks, we have come to yet another end of an experience we like to call pure excellence. Rarely found on Earth, but like a rare earth mineral or a sunset on a beautiful summer day, you just have to stand in awe of what we have all experienced. And you say, well, come on, Pro, a little much, don't you think? No, I do not, because you were here with us and you are the gigawatts. Thank you for making this an experience worthwhile by sharing your time. As we head out today, folks, consider clicking the like button, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms, it's the notification bell, and drop a comment down below. Feel free to share this out on your favorite social medias as well. Folks, wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.